On today's adventure, I get kicked out of the house, try not to trigger any avalanches, fall in a creek, and have a great time. Come on along. I specifically chose this trailhead because there's only parking for 3 cars. I figure that'll mean less people came through here. Certainly not any need for snowshoes at this point. Between snowshoers and probably cross-country skiers, trail is well packed down. I imagine I'll find a spot where I need the snowshoes though. I'd like to dedicate this hike to my wife, who kicked me out of the house because she knew I was about to get grumpy. Usually I have to wait until I am grumpy before I get out of the house, but my wife, she's way ahead of me. Kicked me out today. We're gonna do a little hiking, see if we can get rid of the wintertime blues, be a little bit more pleasant to be around. It's an interesting stream because 150 years ago it flowed into the Colorado River Basin. When the pioneers came up, they switched it so it would flow to the west into the Great Basin. And so just by changing the course of the stream by just a few feet right here, this little stream went from flowing into the Colorado into the Great Basin. I've always found that pretty fascinating. So that stuff makes me just a little nervous. I don't really know much about. I'm a little nervous about snow hiking in the mountains. I've done a fair amount. I don't really have a good idea about like avalanche and what's safe and what's not. This is that time of the year when it's hard to find something for me to do outdoors. The fishing streams are pretty well shut down. You can dredge them up, but that's not my thing. Hikes are harder to do, especially since I don't know a whole lot about avalanche danger and all that. Those are pretty fresh right there. So I've officially reached the place where mine are the only tracks headed up the trail. I met one lady about a mile ago, and she must have turned around right about there. There's still some snowshoe tracks, but they're probably from yesterday. Look at that view. Lately I've been watching Backwoods Barbarian catch a bunch of rabbits. A rabbit trail just like this is exactly what he's been looking for. Well, looks like here's where the guy ahead of me turned around. Probably the smart guy. Yeah! Let's do it that way. Yeah, a little water on there. Yeah. Dang. I don't know. Like, I think should be okay, but dang, if I'm wrong, that is a game over. Man, I don't like this. This looks like once I hop over this edge, it'll be okay. But I think well, I don't want to turn around. Supposedly this is the slope that's good, but feel a little better now, but it's beautiful. A little out of breath, but that's beautiful. Well, I think I just pulled out the GPS. I'm about 2.5 miles from the place I thought I might go. I'd never been there before, so I didn't have a clue how far it would be. It looks like the lady I talked to said that the terrain isn't too bad once you get up that steep spot that kind of sketched me out. However, it's now 2:15, which means I got about 3 hours till dark, and there's nothing for me to do at that lake anyways. So I think I'm gonna call this good, turn around here, try and get down that spot before too much changes condition wise, and call it a day. It was a fun hike. Once I make it past this spot, I'll feel much better. Took the snowshoes off, just so I could be a little more agile on my feet. Yeah, it's a long ways down there. Found it. Pretty much should be in a better place now. Well, hopefully not that better place. But first of all, I'm probably not going to that better place. But yeah, want to go to heaven, just not tonight. Okay. All right. I think I'm just going to put the snowshoes back on and we'll be good to go. Okay. Haven't had a lot of alone time in the last little bit, especially alone outdoor time. Managed to face my fears and overcome them. Of course, I'm never sure whether I'm facing my fears or just being stupid. The problem is sometimes the first clue that you have that you're being stupid is being dead. And that's kind of a rough way to learn that you're being stupid. So something I always something I'm always faced with. I'm a big chicken at heart, so I have to push myself a little bit. But you don't want to push yourself right over a cliff. That was the big dilemma today. But in the end, faced my fears, got past them, didn't die, got over the winter blues, ready to go for another week. Hard to beat that. Okay, just about back to the trail. Glad you got to come along. No need to like or subscribe, but if you enjoyed this adventure, here's another one I might recommend. Till then.